Welcome everybody to our town hall live. This is the first one that we've ever done, and we're excited about getting some feedback from you guys, giving you some insights into how Pinch works, how it operates, how you can help expand your own business. Before we get started, we'd love for each of you to just kind of drop us a line, like what city are you in? Put that in the comments. You should see that, I believe, on the right-hand side of your screen, and you can just drop us kind of where you're coming in from. I love to kind of see where everybody's coming in from. We want as many people to ask questions as possible. Don't get confused or frustrated if we're not answering your question, if there are a lot, but we do want this to be interactive. With me today, I've got Brian Walton, who is the original founder of Pinch. And we have Janelle Morales, who is a cleaner, one of the cleaners that's been with us for a couple of years now in the Tampa, Florida market, and we brought her on. We wanted wanted to allow everybody on this live stream to be able to hear questions that we're going to give to her, and then also questions that the cleaners like yourselves have for her. So I'm going to allow Brian to kind of give a real brief history of Pinch, how we were founded, and just kind of give you a little bit of an update on what we're doing.
First and foremost, holy smokes! I mean, the church is on fire. Look at these people coming in here. So this is our first town hall. I mean, this is a monumental moment, guys. The genesis of our town halls start today, and we are going to do a bunch of these. So for everyone that's on this call today, know that these are going to be coming in fast fashion. We want you to be able to get on. We're going to provide tips and tricks. We're going to provide folks like our esteemed colleague to my right. Well, I guess you guys won't be able to see that, but Janelle, who is one of our professional cleaners, owners, and operators in Florida. And we really want to be here for you guys. You probably see that with the newsletter. I know a lot of you folks, too, are probably brand new to this platform. So we're going to be going through a bunch of stuff today. But the primary goal is, I bet you're here for a specific reason, and that's to grow your cleaning business. And if that's why you're here, you came to the right place. So I can preach at you all day long because I love to talk. Greg can attest to that. So can all of our other partners. But I really just want to give you a quick snapshot and tell you where we were, where we are, and where we're going. So Pinch is not just a platform. Pinch is a movement in the cleaning industry. And what I mean by that is this industry, it's broken. It's freaking broken. If you ask a property manager, if you ask a property owner in the multifamily space or student housing, they're going to tell you that it's disorganized and unprofessional. And the reason it's that way is because there has not been a movement or a change in this industry since 1985, since Back to the Future was on the movie screen, right? Now you have got a professional team and an organization that is providing you all the tools and all the teamwork and all the initiatives to help you grow your business. So Pinch, we started 7.5 years ago when we came up with this idea, and to give you a 30,000 foot view level of us, because we're going to dive deep today into all things Pinch. We started with an app, and the app was specifically built to connect cleaners and soccer moms, customers in the residential space, and it was a first come, first served basis. And it was a logistical nightmare. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. It was very tough. It was very expensive. It was hard to do. But the one thing that we learned was that there are so many cleaning teams out there that want to work and want to grow their business, but they simply don't know how, or they don't have the tools and the opportunity to do that. And I don't care if you're just joining our platform and you're a team of one, or if you are running a business like Janelle or Kelly or anyone else and you have 50 employees. You came here because you want to grow your business, or you want to get out of residential and you want to get into the multifamily or student housing space, and we're going to tell you how to do that. So thank you for being here. Pinch is truly a movement, right? We have found that the industry is broken in many, many ways. Most cleaners out there today, they are doing, I talk to thousands of cleaners, and these cleaners tell me that they're doing other jobs like Uber and painting and carpet removal because they don't have enough business to float them to be able to support what they're doing in trying to run their cleaning business. That's going to change. And we're hearing that from property managers and property owners every single day as our sales reps continue to find jobs and help provide these opportunities to cleaners just like yourself. So we're flipping the script on cleaning. That's the bottom line. Our goal is to give power back to the cleaners, which is going to provide you freedom. It's going to provide you ownership. It's going to provide you dignity. With our platform, we take care of all the tools or the barriers that currently exist. And I call it best in cleaning because multifamily and student housing, it is truly like building a birdhouse with pre-drilled holes. You do it the same way every single time, right? You're not picking up Cheetos and cleaning up toys for someone's house, or you're not doing VRBO. These aren't gigs, these are actual contracts. They're actual long lasting relationships that we help provide you and that you help to win yourself. So, how do we do that? How do we provide you the freedom, the ownership, the dignity? Well, first and foremost, we do it with our membership and our network. You're able to set your own rates. You're able to build your own legacy. You can get paid within 22 days or 5 days, which Greg will elaborate on a little bit more. That is monumental in the space. No one has ever done that or is doing that. You can grow your team. Everybody here wants to grow their team. I've never heard a cleaning company say they don't want to grow your team. And also, you don't have to worry about chasing jobs. These are contracts, and this is what we're allowing you guys to get, and we're giving you the tools to be able to do that. So, we're going to dive in today into how we can help you build your cleaning business. Now, before we get back to Greg, before we get to Janelle, who's back here now, I want to reach out and actually I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to two folks. I want to give one to Marisol, who's in Houston, and I also want to give one to Jamal in Atlanta. Marisol started with us a while back, and since joining Pinch, has already hired three new team members and has doubled her income. And Jamal in Houston, his exact quote to me, and I've talked to thousands and thousands of cleaners, trust me, his exact quote to me was, Brian, Pinch is peace of mind. And I said, tell me what that means. How is Pinch peace of mind? And he says, well, the fact that I can go out and talk to these multifamily facilities on my own, the fact that I can go in there and I know that every single question they ask me is a yes on my end. I have insurance. I have a background check. I have been trained. I have a professional way to do my billing. I have a professional way to do my collecting. I have a fast and easy access way to get paid. He goes, I can lay my head on my pillow after a hard day's work and know that my only concern is growing my team. So shout out to Marisol and shout out to Jamal. Our network is it's a community, folks, and we really want you guys to be a part of this community. We want to help you grow your business. We want to help you build your team. We can provide you the tools where you can truly take ownership of your business. You can control your destiny. This is not just a job. This is not just a bag of tools. This is a whole living, breathing network of folks who really, truly want to change this industry. So my ask of you, my invitation is for you to listen to Janelle today, to ask questions, to be interactive, to get involved, to take control, right? If you really want to change things, you've got to put one foot in front of the other. We are ready to back you. We will back you every single way. We will believe in you. We're here to help you. So this is just the beginning. So let's grow together. I'll leave you with that. We're going to get into the bulk of the business now. We're going to talk about the platform. We're going to hear from an expert, and let's go.
I think for for me, I want to make sure everybody really understands kind of what are the three kind of core benefits that we offer to cleaners, whether you're an individual or you're a bigger team. One is our platform is designed to teach you. We teach you about multifamily. We teach you how to sell. For our elite and quick pay members, you have direct access to Brian. I mean, you get to have like sales one-on-one conversations with him. What do I do in these scenarios? How do I address this thing? So there are a lot of cleaning teams out there that they want handouts. Everybody wants a handout. I do too, right? I'd love just free stuff. But the reality is, if you're going to grow your business, you have to put some work into it. Things don't just come for free. So we teach you how to grow your business. We are open for any conversation, any questions you may have, but we want to make sure that we're setting you up on the right path. Next is the administrative support. And that's really what we found is kind of our core benefit within multifamily is that most cleaners, when they get in, they don't realize that they need $2, $3, $4, $5 million in liability coverage. They need workers' compensation. They have to have a $2 million umbrella policy. And then they say, okay, I'll go talk to my insurance agent. And then they get out there and they realize, whoa, that's going to cost me 10, 15, 20,000, whatever the number is, a huge amount of money. And they go, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to pay that kind of money for the hopes of being able to work in this community. And oh, by the way, that community, even if you do get the job, they're not going to pay you for probably 30 to 60 days. So not a great win for you as a cleaning team. When you look at that industry, you say, it's not worth it. I'm just going to stick with residential. So what we've found is that with us meaning Pinch operating as the vendor, we're covering all of those costs of, the insurance. We are covering, there are fees associated with just being a vendor in this space. So for all these different platforms that we have to be integrated to, we spend the money to make sure we're ahead of the curve. We spend the money to make sure that you guys are ready to take on any community that may say they're interested. So that's all on us. We're paying those fees every single month. We handle your scheduling. And when I say we handle your scheduling, I know every cleaner out there handles their own scheduling. But what happens with these communities is, they ask a painter to come in, and then they ask the carpet cleaner to come in. And because our cleaning teams are always that last person in there for a turnover cleaning when a tenant has moved out and a new one's going to come in, that schedule moves frequently. Like it's a moving target. And so we have our own operations team. They're handling all this back and forth. And then we're able to just push the final schedule directly over to the cleaning team that needs it. And that's a huge value because it ends up being a huge time suck for you if you're doing it all on your own. We do all of the invoicing. We do it the day after the job is complete. It's professional. The property managers love the consistency, the frequency of how fast it comes in. And that helps to get the jobs paid faster. So that all kind of falls under that administrative support piece. The third is the sales engine. And I run the sales team here. We have multiple sales reps around the country, and they are out trying to sell corporate deals for you guys. And that's where all of a sudden you guys get handed a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year account without having to do anything. Like that's the benefit of being part of the network. Now I'll be very upfront and honest with you. Our top tier cleaning teams are the ones that get those first. So in order to become a top tier cleaning team, you have to prove consistency and quality in the work that you're doing. You have to be a quick payer and elite member. Don't take this from me. I want you guys to hear from Janelli. So I figured we'd spend some time doing a little Q&A. Happy to take a quick question before we get into that. So if there are any questions out there, I hope you're putting them in the comments. I'm not personally managing the comments, but they will be pushed to me. It looks like we've got a question from Josh. So Josh, what software are we using to automate scheduling and invoicing? So we really designed everything ourselves. We started doing some things off the shelf, but we really, as we kind of progressed in the multifamily space, we found that there really wasn't anything that was a kind of a direct service that would fit all of our needs at the time. And so we had to build everything kind of in-house. Typical types of cleaning jobs that Janelli's handling. Do you want to handle that for her? Like what she's typically doing through Pinch?
Yeah, I mean, I think Janelli has done a phenomenal job of finding opportunities within the multifamily space, also student housing. But she's doing turn cleans and porter service or common areas. in multifamily facilities all throughout her respective area there in Florida. She does some on a frequent basis where she's doing the common areas 3 or 4 times a week, and then she does the turns that accompany that every single month. And it's crazy because the business that she has built has been it's been growing in such a way that it allows her to continue to hire new folks and continue to grow her bottom line. And she's doing that simply by providing quality service and working really hard. We have so many cleaners out there today that are just experiencing the exact same thing. And it's really through the virtue of putting the left foot in front of the right.
Yeah. The next question I was going to ask her is, what's the biggest job or win that she's had through Pinch? And I know the answer to this. One of the things that we really stress this, like as a cleaning team, and especially as the owner of the cleaning company, you have to build relationships and you have to work on communication with the property managers, with the maintenance supervisors that are on site. Because in Janelle's example, like she started with one community here in Tampa, and she ended up going to that property manager, getting to know her really well. That property manager moved to another community, said, "Hey, Janelle, I need your team over here." She basically doubled her business just through that process. Then the new community manager that came in, she was great. She also left, within 6 months. And so then she added another community. You got to think about it. Like every time a new community comes on board, you end up being like, hey, this is $15,000, $30,000 a year in new revenue to her. So she had to keep growing her team. And I think that's really where a lot of the teams that we talk to, they struggle. It's like if they have that kind of success, they're like, how do I do that when I have to pay my employees and I'm struggling to collect from the community on the back end? And that, again, that's to reiterate some of the benefits. So Janelle is one of our quick pay members. The big benefit there is that we are providing what's called float. We are paying Janelle within 5 days of all of those jobs that she's completing, whether it's common area or it's turnover. So we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that she's getting. We are giving it to her. And then we are collecting with our staff. We are collecting from those communities over the course of the next 30 to 60 days. Looks like she's back.
I'm Janelle Morales, and I am based here in Tampa, Florida. I started as a very, very small residential cleaner, and I found Pinch, and they just helped me skyrocket my business into something really amazing.
How do we handle go backs? Again, from Josh, and I appreciate that. And I'm just going to allow Janelle to answer that, because Janelle, again, she's at a point now where she's managing multiple communities. So she's not the one that's doing the cleaning in all of these instances. So go ahead, Janelle. Why don't you kind of address how you handle go backs?
You mean go backs?
What a go back is might be a good place to start. Let people even understand that.
By go backs, you mean like when a cleaner doesn't do a good job and they're asking you.
Yeah. You sound confused because it never happens with your team, right?
It really doesn't.
But yeah, that's what he's referencing is when the unit's not perfect via the.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest. Like I said, I started off really small. And when I started off, I wasn't really familiar with the multi-family unit, and I wasn't familiar on how to do turn cleans. I literally was winging it from the beginning. And of course, there were instances where I did receive a call back. You got to go back and you got to fix whatever your mistake was. But it's not only about that. It's about going back, seeing what your mistake was, and making sure it doesn't happen again. In regards to having, my employees go back, again, all my employees are trained by me. So I already know exactly what all the communities are looking for. I already have a standard setup of cleaning. And this is something that I install into all of my employees. So they know what I'm looking for. They know the quality of cleaning I'm looking for. There should be no callback. And if there is, it's just part of the job.
How many folks do you have working with you on your team now?
Right now, I have 10.
10. And you started with you?
Yeah, just me.
Just you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And how many facilities are you doing multifamily?
So in multifamily, I'm doing the turn cleans, the post-construction cleans, and all the common areas. So those are just three of the main areas that I prefer to work in. I know, there's other areas that, Pinch offers, but my specialty is turn cleans and common areas.
And how many facilities?
I have 3.
I think to bring you back to the go backs, I mean, one of the important things to understand, and we talked about it a little bit. I think Janelle, you were cut out at the time, is communication. And we talk about this all the time. Is it if you're a new cleaner, you're trying to break into this space, like there is nothing wrong with offering to do a studio or a 1-bedroom unit for free. Like it's a test. They need to understand if you have high quality or not. And the reality is, like, you can win through that through really 2 methods. One is you go and you say, hey, studio 1-bedroom, I'm going to come in, I'm going to clean it. But the caveat is I need you as the property manager to be there to do a walkthrough with me at the end of the test, because I want to know either A, that you love the job that I did and that you're ready to give me the work, or B, that I missed something. And if I miss something, I'm going to learn. So the next time I go into a community and I offer a free trial cleaning again, I'm going to know that, oh man, these property managers are really making sure, like, they're sticklers about the rubber gasket on the top of the refrigerator or whatever, right? You're going to learn something that you may have missed, and that is invaluable, even though you had to give a free cleaning. So Janelle, I don't know if you have any comments on that. I know it's probably not something you're doing now that you're so experienced here, but do you have any thoughts or opinions there?
I really do have a lot to say about this. One of the reasons why I grew so fast, specifically because of my, ability to be able to communicate with these property managers. Aside from the quality of cleaning, there should be lots of communication. You want to know what these communities want. And the thing is, cleaning is difficult because it's subjective. What you may think is clean, someone else may think it's not clean. So part of this job is literally figuring out what their pet peeves are, what they really into. Every community is different. So in the beginning, there's always going to be a moment in the beginning where you want to reach out to these communities and you want them to check your work. And I've had communities that are not into checking work, and I've made them check the work at least the first few times, just because you need to know what these communities are looking for and you want to be able to provide the best service.
That's a great point. One of the questions I had on here for you is, how does Pinch help you run your business more efficiently? So if you just kind of highlight on maybe a couple of the real big ones for yourself, that'd be helpful for everybody listening.
There's a few things that Pinch has helped me with. So I'm just going to name a few. One of them is scheduling. At this moment, I handle a few properties, and all those properties have different common areas, have different apartments popping up, and I would go absolutely insane if I had to schedule all of these, requests of different vacant apartments and different things coming at me at once. I would not be able to. So Pinch handles that whole side of it. I literally just open up my calendar and it's all the jobs are on there. They also help with billing. I don't have to be behind all these communities asking them, hey, where's my payment? Have you what's going on? No, that's all Pinch. They handle all the billing side. They have the insurance as well that these communities require. And I think one of the biggest ones for me is that they meet all the vendor management qualifications. And that is probably one of the hardest things for cleaners to get into to these communities. Because communities, these communities, they need cleaners. You'll talk to any community and they'll tell you, they were like, we need cleaners. We just can't find them. There's so many cleaners out there. But the only problem they have is that they don't meet the vendor management qualifications. And I feel like that's probably one of the biggest pluses for me.
And the insurance, right? The high levels of insurance.
Exactly. And the other thing is that, the communities, they all require different types of insurance. one can like ask for $1 million in insurance, the other one is 2, 3, and for you to be able to meet all these insurance requirements, it would be absolutely insane out of pocket.
Lee, he says, I have a full-time job. If I secure a client and I can't do the job myself, is there a solution to this? I'm just starting out and I'm by myself. So the quick answer is yes. I mean, the whole concept of pinch is that people get themselves in a pinch. They need a cleaner right away. That might be you. We have, I mean, in our network, we have over 200,000 cleaning contacts in our network. We can almost always find a cleaner like that. So when you are an individual cleaner, our recommendation is that you really focus on kind of the small to mid-sized communities, because if you get up to like some of the ones that Janelle's handling where it's 400, 500 units, one person just plain and simply can't handle the volume. She has people at some of those communities every single day, and it just wouldn't work. So if you have a scenario where you can't make it, we highly recommend that you always have a backup. So maybe that's somebody that you just kind of rely on locally that you work with. If you are desperate for another cleaning team, we can 100% find a team to backfill. Again, it's about communication. It's about communication with our operations team. If you know there's a problem, don't tell us 5 minutes before the cleaning's supposed to start. Tell us as soon as you possibly can, so that way our operations team can backfill it and find another cleaner.
I had that issue in the beginning also. I actually had another completely different business, and I was handling that as well. And I understand where she's coming from. Uh, and I think that in the beginning, it's just hard to say, because in the beginning I was working like full time at another job, and then I was also, just grabbing these pinch jobs. But it gets to a point where what pinch really wants is for the cleaners to grow, right? So if you want to grow at some point, you're going to have to prioritize, your business. You want your business to grow, you have to prioritize this. I mean, you can start hiring and you can train your employees to do the work the way you like it. But in the beginning, you definitely have to do the work so you know what these communities are asking for.
And what are your thoughts, Janelle, on this? I know, for the small team, the one man operator that cleans houses, that wants to get into multifamily and wants to grow, right? That started out just like you, one man show, one woman show. They don't know what the scope of work would look like for a multifamily, right? It's completely different than a residential. So the scope of work that we provide at Pinch, is that something that you crafted to your own per se, or did you use that exactly? Because just to let you folks know, we offer a scope of work that we feel like provides all of the needs for whether it's a turn clean or whether it's common area clean. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, the scope of work that Pinch provides is actually super detailed. After a while, when you've cleaned hundreds of these units, you don't really need the scope of work, because it's literally a routine. You literally walk into the unit, you know what to do first. It's all about being efficient. I mean, this is a completely different topic, but it's all about being efficient and getting the job done well and quickly. You're not going to also spend in a unit 5-6 hours. That's not the goal.
So, Janelle, kind of coming back, I think it's a good thing to highlight is, I know originally we didn't even have quick pay as an option for you in the early days, and you personally experienced some of those communities that you had brought on, and you were relying on yourself to get them to pay the bills. Can you kind of share your experience, what that was like, and kind of what it's like using quick pay now?
In the beginning, Pinch did not have quick pay. They did pay me, I think I want to say every month, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. But the issue that I ran into there is that I could not grow as fast as, these communities were wanting me to grow. And the reason for that is because I am just one person and I needed to hire people. So I had to hire people and I had to pay them. I could not tell them, hey, I'm going to pay you in 30 days for all the cleans. No, that's not realistic. So this quick pay program, it was like the perfect thing to come out of this. You know, I pay $50 a month and I get paid, you know, quickly. The same week that the job is done, I get paid and I'm able to, you know, pay all my employees and then see my profit immediately that week.
Most of these multifamily facilities are paying net 30 to 60.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to hire and to grow your business when you're looking and saying, I can't float you your money until 30 to 60 days, and you're having to try to collect it, right?
Yeah.
We do the collecting and we pay, and we really haven't dove into the different tiers. Greg, do you want to talk about the different tiers and explain what that is?
When you come in into Pinch, there's 3 tiers. So there's our max, which is $10 a month. That gets you into the network, which means you're available for the contracts that our sales team are out there selling. With that particular service, you get paid when the community pays us. So you get access to all of our tools. You can create your own proposals. We auto generate 5 leads for you, so you can kind of kickstart this journey for yourself. It'll be 5 apartment complexes kind of close by with a proposal with the W-9 for Pinch, a copy of our insurance, and a flyer that kind of explains what's the relationship between your company, your cleaning company, and Pinch, and kind of how we operate. So that's designed to really just, that max is just, hey, kickstart, get yourself out there, get some knowledge from us in terms of the training. The next step up is our elite service. That's $25 per month. With the elite service, every single month you get 10 new leads. The same thing, like we're pre-designing, pre-filling all those forms out, submitting it to you via email, so that you just have to print it out and bring it into the community. And I tell cleaners this all the time. It's like, if you're really nervous about talking to somebody, minimally just walk in and hand them the paperwork. And we've had it happen so many times where the property manager's like looking at the paperwork. They're like, oh, and they're like, are you approved in that vendor? And they're like, yeah, we're approved in all the platforms. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, absolutely. We'd love to try somebody new. Sometimes it's that simple. So yeah, so that's elite. And if you're an elite member, you are one of our priority members, so that when we do have a contract sold by our sales team, you are at the very top of the list for gaining those contracts. And I will be very clear here: just because you're elite doesn't mean you're guaranteed the contract. We do look for each person to answer questions, answer them honestly. We do have kind of a nominal number of questions you have to answer when you apply for one of those communities. And then we are trying to identify who do we think is going to be the best fit based on the answer to those communities. As I mentioned earlier, if you're an independent cleaner, I'm not going to put you into a community that has 800 units. It just doesn't make sense. So we do go through that process. But if you're elite, you are going to have a leg up over all of our max cleaners. And as you can imagine, there's a lot more max cleaners than there are elite cleaners. And that also goes to quick pay. Sorry, one other thing with elite: as an elite member, you're guaranteed payment in 22 days from the date of the job. And that is important. I know it's not as fast as 5 days like what Janelli gets with quick pay, but it's still a far cry from having to wait 30, 45, 50, 60 days and having to go after collections for these communities. It just means you have to send emails, make phone calls, stop in all the time. It's just a lot of extra work. So that's the beauty of elite. Quick pay being the last one. It's kind of all those benefits of elite, but you're guaranteed payment within 5 days. You also get the 10 new leads every single month. And you're at the top of the food chain when you're quick pay. So when those big contracts come in, the student housing contracts come in where it's $30,000 in 3 weeks, like you're at the top of the list for those types of contracts. So
how do I become a member of Pinch?
It's simple: pro.pinch.cleaning. You click on the join button in the upper right-hand corner, walk through the process. The first thing that you will have to do is go through our training, which is multifamily training and sales training. And then once you're in the system, you're able to utilize all the tools. Most of the communities we work with, they do require a background check. So there is a background check, which is kind of communicated to you as that next step. So we obviously encourage you to do that, because that can also hold you back from getting a community handed to you. If you don't have your background check, somebody else does, they are kind of looked at as being a step ahead of you. Will there be any contracts coming to Memphis and in South Haven, Mississippi? Seeing Indeed post for those areas? Yes. I mean, our sales team is out there looking for corporate contracts. So I'll give you an example. We just met with one last week. They have over 900 communities around the country. They are giving us over 50 of them starting this month. The problem is I don't know where they are until they give us the list of where those 50 communities are. So could it be in Memphis? Absolutely. Could it be in LA? Could it be in South Dakota? We have no idea. But what I would tell you and encourage you to do is when you get the training, whether you're max, elite, quick pay, it doesn't matter. You have the tools to go win one of these deals on your own. And I will tell you firsthand, Janelle's experienced this. When you go out and do it on your own, there is kind of no better proof statement to pinch into our team when we're looking for a cleaning team than somebody who's out there already doing it, right? Especially if you're out there doing it on your own. Like, we want to encourage that. We want to hand accounts to them. So if you ask, are there apartment complexes in Memphis, Tennessee? 100%. There are hundreds of them. So we encourage you to go out and get them. We also have a bunch of questions around taxes. So I'll just answer kind of all of them generically, because I think it'll answer everybody's question. So how do you handle taxes? We operate as the vendor, and every cleaner operates as a subcontractor. So it's a 1099 relationship. So you are responsible for paying all of your own taxes. And then we furnish you all the documentation at the end of the year to show exactly how much revenue you've produced through Pinch.
This is for you, Janelle. Are you allowed to change prices for the proposals that are generated automatically for you every month, or is it to stay the same as Pinch sent them to you?
I definitely changed the prices. I mean, in the beginning, you can start off with the Pinch prices and see if that works for you. Obviously, for me and my business, I do require a little bit more. And when I come into these communities, I just make sure to let them know that they're going to be, paying for quality and for, if for all the trouble they've had, it's going to be worth it. I mean, not that I charge a huge amount over what Pinch, charges, but to make it short, yeah, you can change your prices to see, to whatever fits your business. Any contracts coming up in Memphis, you can go out and you can look for these contracts as well. You already, like, if you're a member of Pinch, you already have all the tools you need to find these communities. You literally, all you have to do is walk in and say, hey, how do you like your cleaners? Are they good? Do you need a better one? I'm it. Okay. And then they're going to ask you questions about, vendor management qualifications. You have everything. All you have to do is walk in, set your prices. You're already qualified. And then, just get the business.
I was going to say, it sounds like confidence is kind of a big piece of this, right?
It really is. But like I said, once you start, I always recommend a small company to start off small and see what it's all about. Actually clean the units yourself and see what the work is about, so that when you walk into these communities, you know what you're talking about. You know what it is they're looking for, and you can actually explain that to them.
Teresa has a great question here. Will I be operating under my commercial business license name, or will I be considered a Pinch employee? Yeah, you're not a Pinch employee. Everything is under your business. We are in partnership with you. So again, to be completely clear, from a property manager perspective, or the property management company, they have Pinch listed as the vendor, but you are the subcontractor. So if you're going to go out and sell it yourself, hey, I'm Janelle's cleaning, company, and I work with Pinch to be able to handle all of my back office operations. That's really what we do. And then we obviously give you the ability to get into these communities and to check all the boxes. One of the things we haven't really touched on, but I know it comes up a lot in conversations, how does Pinch make money? Right? It's a great question for everybody to understand. We do have some different videos out on YouTube that kind of walks you through what that breakdown looks like, but we charge 19%. So if you're setting your own price, it's 19% of that. If it's the price that we've kind of predetermined, it's 19% of that. That's how the business model works. But again, we have to pay for our operations team that's doing all that scheduling, rescheduling, cancellations. We pay for all of the insurance. We have an entire finance team that does all of the invoicing production. We also are managing that float. We're especially for like our quick pay members, we're paying them within 5 days. There is a lot of work that goes into collecting that money from those communities. And then last but not least, probably the most important to most of you is that we have a sales team, and that sales team costs money, right? When they go out and sell deals, we have to pay them commissions. But man, we're all super happy when they go win a deal that has 900 communities. They get the commission on it. You guys are handed these deals that can make significant changes to your business. How do you get an office building contract? How do you end up getting the cleaning for the fitness centers and the common area bathrooms and the office and things of that nature in these bigger communities? And Janelle, maybe you can tackle that.
When I come into a community, I always start with their turn cleans. I show them the quality of work. Once you show them your quality of work in the turn cleans, you start saying, hey, what about your common areas? I see that they're not as good as, the cleans that I'm providing. Like I can do it better. Like give me a chance, and that's really what's worked for me. For other cleaners, I just recommend to start with the turn cleans, show them that you can do a good job there, and then move up to common areas. Again, because common areas is most of the time you would probably need employees, because at that point, common areas are larger. And
a lot of questions asked. Do you have a number to contact, please? I'm waiting for my LLC. So the best way to get a hold of us, and we can have a conversation, the best way to get a hold of us is our email, which is cleanerhelp@pinchjob.com. Again, if there's a lot of questions, we can have somebody hop on the phone call with you, but that's how we try and funnel everything. We get literally thousands of inquiries, thousands of questions every day. And unfortunately, our staff just isn't that big to take phone calls for half an hour with each one of them. We'd never get through everybody. But great question. There's a question around QuickBook charges as well. There are no QuickBook charges, but there is with QuickPay, there is a bank fee of $4.95 that does get added. So anytime we're actually sending you the money, there is a $4.95 bank charge that we do pass through. So that is a great question. Do we have anyone using Pinch in Oklahoma? I know we do. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who it is.
We do. We have jobs in Oklahoma, and we have cleaners there as well.
We're trying to sell corporate deals. We're trying to get bigger property management companies to see the value in having consistent pricing across all of their communities, consistent processes, which means they're all getting the same type of invoices. They're all they're getting, again, consistent prices if it makes sense. Obviously, there are certain areas of the country where the price may need to move up or down, but it's consistent in that single point of contact. A lot of these property management companies, managing vendors is very difficult for them, especially if those vendors are doing things like handwritten invoices, or even if they're typed out invoices. A lot of them are missing a lot of the data that's really required for those companies to really be able to manage their own business. And that's how we're selling them. And, again, we've got a sales team. We're bringing somebody else in that's really going to be putting a lot of focus on the commercial side of things. So light commercial, cleaning schools, cleaning, office buildings, things of that nature. And when I say light janitorial, it's really things that don't require heavy machinery of any sort. So we're really excited about those folks that are going to be coming into the business. And again, ultimately helping the entire network build and grow.
Speed round here. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to answer these questions for me, okay? And we're going to do this, and we're going to get nods of approval from Janelli or negatives from Janelli. So we're going to watch your face, and we're going to roll with it, okay? What types of jobs are available through Pinch right now?
So it is primarily turnover and common area amenity spaces that are coming through us. We occasionally have the light commercial, but it's primarily turnover and common areas.
How long does it take to get your first job after you've signed up and joined?
How long does it take for you to get out and drop off some proposals? A great stat, like Brian and I collectively, we've done this a lot, very consistent. Of course, when I say we've done it a lot, obviously we're going to be a little more attuned to the questions that get asked right away. But this is what Janelli was mentioning. You just got to kind of get over that, get your reps in, and you'll get better. I would be shocked if you do it for a while, do it for a few months, that you're not closing 1 in every 5 deals that you're walking in the door on. I don't know, Brian, do you agree with that? Or
yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, but you make 10 calls, you're going to get a facility that wants to talk to you. They're
That's
not happy, and they may start you out with common. They may start you out with terms. It doesn't matter. You get your foot in the door, you do what Janelle said, you prove yourself, and then it's game on. Do I need a business license or insurance to join Pinch?
You do not. So individual, email, phone number, we're off to the races.
Can residential cleaners truly be successful with Pinch?
Yes.
Let's answer that.
Simple,
Yeah.
right? One word answer, right? Yes. You've already talked about how you can be successful. Are jobs only available in big cities?
No.
This is for small areas.
Of course, big cities have bigger populations. There's clearly a lot of opportunities there, but it's actually one of those little things that get asked all the time when we're on these big corporate calls. They say, okay, what about, this little Timbuktu place? Like, I bet you don't have cleaners there. We'll do a live demo. We'll just pull up the zip code or pull up whatever their address is. And very consistently, it's like, boom, here's a whole bunch of cleaners. Boom, here's a whole bunch of apartments. It is literally everywhere. Anywhere there's an apartment complex around the nation, you're going to find opportunity.
And I'll add to that. We've got one cleaning team started out as a single person. Now she's got 27, 28 employees based out of Charleston, South Carolina, where we started Pinch. And she's doing 40 different multifamily facilities. And I wouldn't consider Charleston a big place. It's not rural by any stretch of the imagination, but when you consider it to Jacksonville or Tampa or others like that, we are small. So these facilities are as prevalent as gas stations. And they all need good cleaning teams like Janelle. How about how are job opportunities assigned or distributed?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've done a lot of this manually in the past, but we just recently made some updates to our technology. So as these contracts come in, we're going to be sending emails and SMSs or text messages to people that fall within typically 25 or 30 mile radius of that particular location. So you'll get notified, you click on the link, you go in and you review the details. They'll tell you kind of what we anticipate the contract being worth, what type of a contract it is. You can review all those details, click on apply, answer the questions, and it goes into our queue. And as I mentioned before, we're going to kind of review, make a short list of who we think is going to be the best fit for that particular community. And then usually it results in a phone conversation to make a final decision.
Janelle, for you, what makes a cleaner stand out when applying for contracts and for jobs?
Honestly, it's all about confidence for me. Like I said before, and I do everything in person. I want to walk into a community and I want them to see my face and see my smile, and everything's better in person. Most of the time, the way I'll get my foot in as well is I'll tell them, just give me a chance with 1 or 2 units. Let me prove myself to you and I'll show you what I can do.
Love it. But you put yourself out there is what you're doing.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best way. Like, if you really want to grow, you have to, like I said, and you have to be able to speak to these people, and you have to be able to communicate with them, not only at the beginning, but during the whole time that you're going to be working at that community. You need to have excellent communication skills.
And there's trust and relationships that evolve because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started off as a solo cleaner, just one person. I cleaned by myself. I worked my butt off. I showed them that I was able to do it. Then I started growing slowly. From there, I started cleaning their common areas. And then from there, I started doing other things in the communities. It got to the point where they were recommending me to other communities nearby that I could start cleaning. Once you do a good job in one community, all these communities, they talk to each other. They'll recommend you. Sometimes you don't even have to go out and look for these communities, especially in those really small areas that you mentioned. It's probably easier to grow there because here in Tampa, there's so much competition. There's so much. But in those small rural areas, sometimes I feel like that's even easier. Like, they're barely in a competition. You just got to get out there and do it.
We're super excited to work with each and every one of you. Again, www.pro.pinch.cleaning is the website you go to register if you haven't already done so. And again, we're here for you. If you have questions, if you want advice, like, that's why we built this business, is to help people like Janelle. We love watching cleaners like her go from a solo cleaner to having a team of 10 or as Brian mentioned with Kelly, to get up into the 30s in terms of number of cleaners.
Does Pinch train me?
They do have a, I'm guessing like a video where they tell you.
Janelle came in even before we had the training. So,
Right.
yeah,
I'm putting her on the spot.
I can't
truth be told, she helped us develop it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So technically, when I started with Pinch, we did not have that training. That's why it was crazy the way I started. It was really small. And then as I started growing, that's when I helped Pinch, with their, I guess, the scope of work and everything and what we're.
Just to elaborate on that, we do provide detailed training. It does take a little bit to get through, but it's required. It is super helpful. As I said in the beginning, I've talked to thousands of cleaners, introducing myself when you guys sign up for this platform. The training itself is very thorough, and it does prepare you very, very well for the world of multifamily and student housing. So you will have your questions answered within that training and that scope of time that you spend on it.
Sheila asked the question, can students work for you? Yeah, as long as really the age limit's 18, you have to be 18 or older to be able to be subcontracted out. But absolutely, I think the key for everybody to understand is these communities operate typically kind of 8 or 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So they don't typically like the cleaning team to be there after hours or on the weekends, because they have to furnish the keys to you. You give them your license while you get the keys. So then you obviously want your license back when you hand the keys back to them. So for multifamily, it's very much a 9 to 5 type job. But for light commercial, the majority of those types of jobs are handled, as you can imagine, in the evening after the office is closed. So there are different opportunities kind of depending on what your own personal schedule is and what you're kind of targeting.
Can we do occupied homes and be covered under the Pinch umbrella?
Absolutely, you can. Again, you have to kind of get in and utilize the tools in the system, and the jobs do need to be pushed through our system. It doesn't work if you're just kind of working on the side with a homeowner and say, oh yeah, I'm covered through Pinch. It doesn't operate that way. So I want to be very clear that the jobs do need to run through our scheduling team, so that way they are invoiced appropriately. We actually have a lot of Airbnb type jobs, short-term rental type jobs that happen through the platform as well.
In the common areas or things like that where I work, like in the different communities, like if we do offer a different type of service that's normally not charged to Pinch, that's also something that Pinch can handle. Like, for example, in one of my communities, they wanted us to clean their windows outside, and we did that. And all you have to do is just, reach out to the scheduling team, let them know what it is you're doing, how much you're charging, and they will add it.
Well, I think we'll close it out here, unless there are a few others. If you have a clean on the weekend, let's see, if you had a clean on the weekend, I'd be there. Is there an extra fee applied? So there are some different fees that can get applied for, various things. You can apply, like if there is an absolute last minute thing, some cleaners, they like to charge for the weekend. Some cleaners will charge if they make a trip out to the community and there's no water, or there's some other problem with the unit not being ready, and they charge a trip charge. The one thing I can tell you is I think all those charges are very valid, but I will tell you that this industry, they are sticklers. And if you start charging too many up charges, they're just quickly going to say, all right, we're going to go find someone else. So it's okay to do. I think it's, again, always comes back to communication. If you have a great relationship and you're like, hey, my team drove out there and you guys weren't ready, like we're gonna tack on an upcharge for the trip, they'll understand that, and you'll get that extra fee for your time and energy to go out there. Teresa asked the question: attire, can I wear my own business logo and clothing, or will a uniform be required? 100%. Use your own logo, your own clothing. Matter of fact, there you go. See, we even have a shop in your Pinch account. If you go in the menu all the way at the bottom, that gets you two big benefits. One is we have a relationship with Vapor Apparel where you can get custom apparel, hats, shirts, anything you want. You can get it with your own logo. You also can get Pinch logo gear there as well. And we have a brand new relationship, brand new partnership with Staples that I'm super excited about, because I know you all are out there buying cleaning supplies on a regular basis. This actually is going to be promoted on Tuesday to everybody via email, so you know about it. So here's the early drop. But through the Pinch account, you can set up your own address as another address through Pinch. You get all of our contract pricing. We're using the value of the entire network to be able to get cleaning supplies at heavily discounted rates. Staples been a great partner getting this thing off the ground, so you guys should definitely check that out as well.
So Alexandria is saying, well, am I correct in assuming that you provide supplies and equipment?
No, we do not. Pinch is your back office support. This is your cleaning team. Those are your own expenses. We are providing all those things I was mentioning before that cover that 19%.
Thank you all who have joined, who came in late, who've been here from the beginning. Thanks to members that have been with us for a while. Thanks for folks that are just finding us. The great thing about this opportunity is it doesn't start and stop right here. We're going to do a bunch of these, and we're going to bring folks just like Janelle in here to explain their story and share their story with you guys. Our story at Pinch is really built around you guys, around cleaners. We want to change this industry one city, one state, one cleaning team at a time. And we truly believe that we can help you grow your business. We're seeing it every single day. So I implore you, if you have not signed up for the platform, please join our community. If you don't like it, tell us why. We would like to know that. But we want to be able to help you grow your business. If you're serious about moving forward, come join our partnership, and I promise you, we will provide you with the tools to support and the love that you need to be able to.
All I want to say is, if you're a cleaner and you want to try it, go for it. Like, just go for it. There's so much opportunity for growth with Pinch. They're already offering all the tools necessary to get there. All you have to provide is yourself, good quality cleaning, and the sky's the limit.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate everyone's time. Look forward to doing this again.